Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about a new chatbot that I've been making. It's a categorical chatbot, so it basically builds upon itself in sequence in a pipeline. It does deep reasoning, and it's not a specific language. It forces the language to deep reason. So it takes a language. Right now, it's using Grok 2, which is a very good research language, and it's using that in a sequential agentic pipeline, basically, to come up with a valid answer. So we could test this by giving it a simple, famous question saying, how many R's in the word strawberry? And you could tell, it'll tell you exactly how it breaks it down. So it's a pretty expensive chatbot to run for simple questions, but you're meant to use it for really complex questions like work related stuff or like enterprise level stuff, I'd say, like things that are more than just conversational. So it tells you exactly how to break it down and what it's about and the intent and everything up here. I'll go into that a bit more after it's done processing. And here the answer is. So it breaks down. It says it gives you the position of each one. It counts everything really in detail, and then it says the number of R's in the word strawberry is 3. So, and this is all markdown formatting. So if I take it and I bring it over to a Markdown Live preview, you can see it's nicely formatted out here. I just don't have it rendered yet in the chatbot, but it's pretty easy to view on here. That's just extra code that I don't need right now, and it has different reasoning types. So if you change it to deductive, it'll take general principles and break it down into specific conclusions. So like writing a story would be great for deductive stuff because I want to say like write me a 3 paragraph story about the Star Wars universe. Make it take place in the first episode. And yeah, we're going to do that so it can handle a variety of different quests or requests. If it bugs out, I apologize. It is very early on. Well, not early on, but it's still early in development since this is just me learning how to do all this. So I coded this whole thing. It's with bolt.new, and it's coded in React. I've been using chatbot AI coding for about a year now, give or take. Mainly using I used Python before, then I switched over to TypeScript, and I find it great for this. So you can see it broke it down, and it's like, well, we need Star Wars Episode 1 as the context. Domain knowledge is Star Wars. The constraints is 3 paragraphs, and it must take place in the first episode. So it has a really good understanding of the question, and you know exactly how it's answering it. Um, you can even say, ensuring the narrative scene resonates with the theme of the Star Wars saga. And then it breaks it out. It'll say, like, look, it gives you 3 separate paragraphs. It's not supernatural. It's a little bit more researched. Let me go over to here. Like it's meant to be more of a. You can. What I'm saying is you could delete these headings and you can like write your own, but this is meant to be more of a research thing than an actual um, final content basically type thing. So it's great for really. Well, another thing it does what I've been doing is local SEO with it for websites. So what I would need for local SEO is I need specific entities that are very well known in Edmonton, Alberta, or any place that's local to you that you'd be doing this in. So I could say like write me a write me a list of 20 significant local entities. Oops, to Edmonton AB, um, and provide URLs plus contact info. So it can actually go down to like actually searching for URLs based on what it's been trained on, and then providing those URLs for those businesses, not just guessing what the URLs are or having to search the web for them. This only works, of course, for URLs within its training data. So any new URLs that have been made, especially like really new ones within the last year or two, aren't going to be on there or as well known. But really well known entities will have really reliable data to use since they've been there for a while. Like a city has been there for decades, most likely, so it's going to have really stable and really well verified, really easy to verify information. So it's going to give us a list, and it gave us a list of 20 significant entities directly in Edmonton as requested. And so I'm going to show it on here, and it'll be like, so the University of Alberta is not just universityofalberta.ca, it's ualberta. Or ualberta.ca. So it knows that it's not just this, and it's not just exact matching the URL, and it goes directly to it, so you can see that it's actually correct. And it does this for every single one. It won't always be correct, but and it's not its fault necessarily. Like Edmonton Elks just changed to Edmonton Elks recently within the time frame, and it's still correct. So it does a pretty good job of doing it. I'd say it's correct about 60 to 70% of the time. Even like this one, for example, is wrong. So I know that because I can't recognize that. But the nice thing about it is since you know the intent of the URL and what it's trying to do, you can usually find a good substitute to replace it with. Or like Edmonton Symphony Orchestra is just Edmonton Symphony.com, and it's going to the Winsphere Center. I don't know why it redirected there, but oh, because the Edmonton Symphony URL redirected here, and so it was still right, which is pretty amazing. This is a venue where they Edmonton Symphony is held at, so it is technically correct, or it is correct. So let's go back to here, and now what we're gonna get into some of the fun stuff. It's really good at I found at solving riddles. So it will come out with these. If it doesn't come out with the exact answer, it will say it will most likely tell it in a use case or an edge case. So I can say solve this riddle just to make sure it knows it's a riddle. Um, Usually it does recognize it, but sometimes it doesn't, and it's kind of a waste. So it breaks it down and says like, oh, we need a riddle and an answer. And so, like I said, everything is adaptive. These things just change, and this is all structured in an output with Zod framework. So it's very strict to what it outputs. So it's very structured and strict, and then it just comes out with new things in context. And this one is directly influenced on this one. And so we can say, um, oh, maybe what was the answer? An echo. So, okay, this is the part also where I'm going to show you it's kind of interesting, um, is because the reasoning is a big deal. So we're going to change to causal. So that one got it wrong. Let me see if I can redeem it. It'll look at it with a different type of reasoning, and we'll hopefully do it right. We can change a couple things and get it to work. What we need to say is an echo. So it's looking. It'll look at things like the musical part of it and maybe get misled some of the times. So yeah, and it'll try to break it down into bigger concepts. If you just say the direct relationship in the sentence itself, usually with the causal, usually gets it right. So oh no, this one is wrong. Still, let's see step 3 verification. So no, never mind. Here's a list of potential objects. So it did get it right. It said echo. It's just saying the most likely one is, but it also used this as a possibility. So we'll give it that because it was the first possibility. And it lists everything in really good detail here, so you can see exactly what it's doing. So we're going to clear that one and go to the next one. I'm testing out these, all the ones I tested, it got like one really wrong. It didn't get it right. But now that we have the right reasoning type on here as well, it'll do a much better job at answering these specific questions. That's one of the things you have to play around with because just because it's really good doesn't mean it needs no training. You need to have the right setup first. But it's really flexible in terms of how powerful it is. And I'm going to get into some math questions as well later on if we have time, but right now it's just going to be these questions that I know. So you can see it breaks it down by the what type it is. It's a riddle, and it doesn't actually give the answer there. And then it looks at different clues too. And let's say the object described in the riddle is a candle, which is exactly the right answer. And it even breaks it down. It's life measured in hours by burning out, burns faster, can't extinguish it. A candle, battery it does not change it based on thickness or speed based on thickness like that. It reasons it out. Or an hourglass. So the hourglass does the same thing. It also validates all the parameters. So it could be a candle or an hourglass, but it's most likely a candle, and that's right. And that's the kind of detail that I've been working on over the last. We're just gonna put this in and hope it identifies it as a riddle. It should say a map, and I think this one will say globe or a map. But the level of detail I've been trying to work on has been substantially increasing over time, and I figured out that basically as long as the level of there's the level of quality basically has to have the data tokens of the request of the prompt and context tokens, let's call them, for the um, quality of the prompt. So combining the data and the context will give you an optimal answer pretty much. But too much context, you lose the data. So you have to find the sweet spot between the data and the context to get the right amount of quality. So, for example, here it says a map, which is perfect. It's exactly what it is. Um, it goes through the key findings and like it breaks it down as much as you possibly want it. I think I would anyways. And in this one here, like I said, it doesn't actually give the answer in this one. It just like it specifically does not give the answer here. It just specifically says how to give the answer here. Um, yeah. So the other thing I could do is get it to do work deliverables for me. So I could say, give me a content brief for the outline or for the keyword best cooling mattresses in Edmonton AB. And I built this whole thing myself with bolt.new, so it's completely not related. It didn't exist before I started making it. Besides just the API and like the library tools and stuff, I programmed the whole thing using Bolt. And that took quite a while, and it was fairly expensive for something this complex, but it all seems to be working right now, so it is worth it. So far, anyways. I also have the ability to upload RAG, so retrieval augmented generation content. So that'll change the context of the answer because it'll be based off the RAG, plus it'll be based off what it knows. So it's literally just augmenting it. It's not like completely changing the like it's not limiting it to the RAG. It's just adding to the context of the RAG. So we have this one, and I believe this is gonna look, from just what I saw there, it looks pretty good. It's gonna put it in here. So this is the content brief for it. So we have a market research, and that's exactly right for cooling mattresses. Best cooling mattresses Edmonton AB. I don't know, that doesn't really make sense, but like you have actual brand names that are here, and Endy is a Canadian mattress company, and it's giving data. You can see that specifically to there. I tried to tell it not to give speculative data, so it should be as factual as it can get without having to actually verify it. It was very strict on that. So let's say if it should be between 1,200 and 1,800. I have no idea what mattresses cost. Um, so like, let's see. I mean, cooling mattress, yeah, high cool mattress, 1,200, 1,800. That suits it. Some are a little bit higher, like depending on what the tempera stuff does, but we'll call it pretty accurate for no research at all. Once again, I would recommend always checking this for data and accuracy before actually posting it, just because things change within 2 years, so you never really know. But you can go specific to things like give me a blog content outline for drying or for flying a drone safely in Edmonton, Alberta, near Jasper Ave. So that's a really, really, really specific, in-depth topic that is like very specific to being a local here. Um, so I should have added a few more things, like maybe give me URLs and give me actual links to entities nearby, so it'd be a little bit more impressive. But just know it can do that. I just didn't do it this time. And the other thing, this will generally be the same with it chunked out like that, because that makes it easier for the AI to actually read through. So this is the outline, exactly what we wanted. And once again, I'm just going to put it into a markdown viewer to make it easier to read. So we could say the introduction, Lang Jones near Jasper Avenue, Alberta. Links to City of Edmonton bylaws on drones is giving you what to do. Um, References to weather conditions, all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's telling you exactly what to do in a way that I expect. It's all giving also giving edge cases and validation. Yeah, because it's telling you to have the outline reviewed by a local expert, which is perfect. So I would call that a perfect win for, in my opinion. And I'll show you the actual pharmacy. Can I just open this? So this is a pharmacy in Toronto, in Terrace Heights, which is a neighborhood in Edmonton AB. So it's gonna go off this whole thing, and I'm not gonna tell it anything about the location. I'm just gonna tell it to make an outline for the pharmacy. So we're gonna pretend to write a website, make a website for it. So I'm gonna say create a 30-day plan to create a website for this business. Focus on local SEO and make it under $5,000 per budget at $50 per hour. So it's going to have to follow every single one of those constraints across multiple agents and assistants that come out with um, multiple agents can come out with a full thing. And look, it's breaking down everything really, really well. It's also going to use the pharmacy document. So it's going to use this and this to generate the prompt in general. And it can read other kinds of text. It doesn't have to just be dot text. So now you can see it in Terrace Heights. It read the document, and yeah, Terrace Heights community, it knows that. Yeah, I like it's looking at it's got the budget down, and it's very high level data. It's not telling you specific tools or anything. For the most part, it's just saying like a range of tools. It's because I found that's better for the logic of the AI. So it looks pretty good already from what I can see. And remember, this is reg through the pipeline. So right there. So it's even going down day 1 to day 2, 8 hours. So 4 hours per each day, presumably. Plan the project plan document, and then domain and hosting. Get that. Each one specific to how I would make it, and it's coming out. It's even breaking it down in hours, and you could make this a table if you wanted to reformat it, but it does all that. And it gives the edge cases. This is Zod framework, so it's giving these every single time, regardless, like the section headings after the actual answer. So best practices, it gives you all that within the request, and the verification method for getting quality, a high quality SEO, and it even knows to go to like local directory listings, stuff like that. Um, so I'm pretty happy with this, and yeah, I'm going to be making more content with this, and this will be basically how I plan to optimize websites going forward. It seems to be working so far. Thanks for watching.